Welcome to Shorty SuperCoach, and we've got a familiar face here. We've got Langers. How are you, mate?
Good, thank you. Daniel, how are you?
I'm well. You're back from a little trip, just gallivanting around the South Australian coast.
Yeah, just crossed the border into South Australia for the first time. It was quite a beautiful spot that we went to in Robe. Didn't see any Port or Adelaide players, but that's all right.
Disappointing. Well, I thought we'd talk about a little bit of an update and also, a few trades, because now's the stage where we are probably starting to upgrade a little bit, downgrade a little bit. So it's been a couple of weeks probably since we touched base, but
thanks for the invite.
Yeah, well, you've been a tough man to catch.
Yeah, I've been a busy boy. So now's a really tricky time because we're starting to do some upgrades that could really affect our teams in the long run. And there's a couple of rookies coming in now, which could be really important as well. There's a couple of Richmond kids that came in. Whether or not they'll be good for our teams or not, we'll have to see. But, sometimes you just got to take a leap, Daniel.
You do, mate.
And hope. Did you want to start on the rookies or on the trades that I've done this week?
Yeah,
or
let me know your
what's
trades.
Going on in life?
Well, we dare not speak about what happened in the tent over the weekend. But, anyway, we'll talk about trades. You okay?
Yeah, I'm great.
Cool. That's all right. Do you want to walk?
This week I've pulled the trigger on Darcy Moore. He's off.
He's done.
He's got a break. Ooh.
That comment's really shaking you up, hasn't it?
He's got a break even of 51, which is gettable for him, but he just hasn't looked like pumping any real big numbers out.
Yeah, that's so
He's just
true.
been sort of getting like 60s and 70s. So I brought him out for Travis Boak, who I wanted to get in last week, and he was tagged last week really well. Still managed a 95, which is a good premium score for a bad game.
Yeah.
He still rose a bit of money, but I got him in. I was going to trade Sam Menegola. You have no idea how lucky Sam Menegola is to be in my side.
The frustration is real.
That F3 spot was such a hard spot to pick this year, and I could have gone Tim Kelly, but I went Menegola, and I backed him, and I said he was going to be All-Australian this year, and that's looking unlikely now, Daniel. But anyway, Moore is out for Travis Boak, and I also I took out Jordan Clark from Geelong as well. He just looks a bit tired now, and I wouldn't be surprised if he got rested this week or next week for Geelong. Swung Dersma back into defence, and I brought in Jack Ross from Richmond. He's a basement price rookie. He scored pretty decent in his first couple of games.
Yeah.
And he's on field for tonight's game, Richmond versus Melbourne. And I've got a bit of money in the bank to maybe do another upgrade next week.
How much are we talking?
Well, I've got 20k.
Yeah, that's insane. Just a bit of loose change.
My thoughts are, if Menegola duds it up again, he's straight out for Tim Kelly.
He's been on the block for a while.
Yeah, well, he started well. He scored 101, he scored 70, then he scored 115. And I'm thinking, here we go. He's going to have a 99 averaging season.
Yeah.
And then he's backed it up with back-to-back 50. So if he has another dud game, and I'm talking, if he scores sub 70, he's out for Tim Kelly, who's probably the lowest he's going to be for a while.
Yeah.
Won't cost me much to get Tim Kelly in for Menegola. And then I can probably go, Atkins or Bailey Scott or Gibbons down to young Will Hayes from the Bulldogs to make some money. So
that's
my plan.
And you did back Menegola in, and we all make those calls, and sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. So I think he has been pushed out of that midfield a little bit, hasn't he? But as you say, given Kelly's extremely low score when DeBoer tagged him out, you have time to think on that. He's not going to go up in price. He might go up 5k. His break even's 117, I think. So you've time's on your side.
Yeah.
You can give Menegola a chance, I think you'll probably bring Kelly in, but as you say, Menegola may find some form and give you enough reason to say, well, look, maybe he's turned a corner, maybe this looks different this week or something.
You could definitely pull the trigger on Kelly this week because any premium player of his caliber under 500k, you'd be happy to jump on. And, he might score more than 117 anyway and go back up. But that's a risk I'm willing to take, that he'll be within that 5-10 range next week.
He's not going far. He's not going far. And you'd be pleased with Ross that Cochin is a bit of a setback for him. So I think he's out for another 2 to 3. So, that's promising for all Ross owners because it gives him, he'd probably keep his spot anyway, but it gives him opportunity through the middle. So, and I agree with you on Clark. I think we've got the likes of, Buse, Tui, Guthrie is still in there.
He's there.
But, you feel as if Constable's got to come back in. So
Yeah, I reckon
Guthrie could go to half-back flank as well.
I reckon Constable comes back in, and he's got a really low break-even too. So for the people that were thinking about Constable, he'll be back in because he only got rested. And I think they were sort of saving him for the West Coast bigger, stronger midfield as well.
It's a genuine resting.
Yeah, Parfitt's injured his quad anyway, so Constable will come straight back in regardless. And, I wouldn't be surprised to see Clark out for Tui, who played well in the VFL. So
I would say that's very low.
I think I've got a few too many Geelong players in my side anywhere. There was just too many rookies from Geelong, and I also had Ockenbaugh in defence. So I've used a couple times as a defence loophole, so it's worked out well for me. That's fair. So I just got to clear them out because they're not all performing. So what trades were you thinking, Daniel?
Well, I'm also making 2 trades, and my trades are all in regards to the old fortnight look, mate. I'm looking 2 weeks ahead.
The old 7-point play.
I'm looking at 5, mate.
Whoa.
5 is the priority.
Whoa.
With that little concussion or whatever it was concussion a few weeks back, wasn't it? Yeah. Brownie's resilience, Paddy in that. I think it's unlikely he'll be as cheap as he could be at the end of this weekend, which will likely be around the 550 to 570 mark.
He's got a break even of 164.
And what's he priced at? About
580. Yep. So
he'll definitely around 550, I reckon.
He's tasty.
Which is real tasty. So I've lined him up from afar, getting me.
Yep.
And I think Constable's the man to...
You can bridge that gap, can you?
Yeah. He can absolutely.
How much do you have in the bank currently, Daniel?
Well, prior to the trade I just did about 5 minutes ago, I had 170 in the bank.
Cool.
And that worked out with the Martin to Rockcliffe. So that's how I got that little stuff. So where are my thoughts at? I also want to get Caleb Daniel. There's a little bomb dropping for you. That? Caleb Daniel, mate, a little ball user. I'm a big fan of him. Just ask my dad. I've been a big fan of him for a long time. And I honestly didn't realise he was moving to half-back line.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't realise till like a few weeks back.
Yeah. No, he's such a good kick. He's
a beautiful kick.
Such a good kick. And he looks so small and tiny. Yeah. They're like, it's one of the Oz kickers still out there for half-time. No, he can really kick a ball like a good 50 metres.
He's creative.
Hit a target.
He doesn't blaze away. Yeah. He just likes to hit 20-metre kicks all day long. Yeah. And I wanted to sit down Sunday and watch that Bulldogs Carlton game and just to myself, I wanted to watch Cade Simpson as well just to see their roles. And I really liked what I saw from Daniel. He scored 100, I think. Yeah. And he turned the ball over about 3 times. Yeah, so I don't expect that.
He could be averaging more than 100, yeah.
So I think, as you said, Darcy Moore, 51. He's been good to us. Yeah. And he'll probably reach that.
I reckon that's about as much as you can get out of him anyway.
I think
it's not so much about milking Moore for all his money because I'd rather have Travis Boak type scores in that forward line instead of Darcy Moore scores.
That's right.
I could be getting 70 extra points a game and pushing me up consistently over that 2,200 mark instead of just below that, which is where I've been. So I think the time is right now for me to and other people to move on those mid-price rookie scores. Even Zach Williams has been thereabouts. He scored 60-odd last week and bounced back with a 90. But, I mean, if you can get Williams up to Hearn or Whitfield if you missed him or Lloyd, then you'd be looking to do that too.
Yeah, so I think Moore he's scored a 93, but otherwise he doesn't have that ceiling. What he does is great, but he doesn't have the quantity to match that quality. Yeah. Therefore, I think he could score 40, he could score 80. So
he scored 93.
I think a few weeks back.
Oh, yeah. Oh, right. Yeah.
Not last week, yeah.
Well, he just hasn't shown he can get over that mark yet. I think because he's relatively new to the role. He's doing well in it, but he's just not as settled as what he could be. Like when we saw Sicily go into that role, he really hit it with pace and he was doing really well. But maybe next year for Darcy Moore is a premium option.
So the Moore to Daniel, the Constable to Fife requires, with a little bit of an estimate, 140 for the Daniel trade, and I'm thinking anywhere from 230 to 260, depending how much Constable goes up and Fife comes down. So let's call it 250. I need 360 to 380 in the bank to make me feel comfortable. So I am going to get rid of Collins. As you say, I think Clark will get dropped. Collins won't, and he's shown the ability to score beyond 80. But I just need that extra 80,000, I think. So Collins down to Lockhart, I think. And that doesn't light my fire that much, but I think
it's all about the money.
Yeah, he's playing his third game. Melbourne are trying some things. He's mature age, and look, there's probably only him and I think it's Ryan Young or someone.
Lewis Young.
Lewis,
From
is it?
Bulldogs,
Yeah. So just a young gun, and he's only played one game.
Lewis Young gun.
Yeah. Yep, that's it.
Collins has got a break even of 45. So when they start getting a couple of scores around their break even, it's probably time to move them on anyway.
Yeah. 100%.
And he'll still, keep playing that really good role for Gold Coast, but he's sort of done his job. He was a higher price rookie. He was like 180 anyway. And we only needed him to get to about that mark. We needed him to now. So you can just do the straight, one upgrade, one downgrade, and you can get a premium and another rookie out of it. So
yeah. And as you say, I think, doing that trade, I probably will have enough for Fife anyway. But I dare say I would then go Bailey Scott to Will Hayes. I really like what he did. Yeah, next week.
Yeah, we like Hazy.
Yeah, I think. I think he could probably average around the 70 mark.
Yeah, no, we like those mature age players. Yeah.
So, but I thought about Ross. The stars didn't align with him, and then you probably start looking ahead. But I think for the minute, they're the guys that I'll be trading.
I really want to put Michael Gibbons on field instead of Ross this week.
Oh, really?
But I want to see a second game where Carlton back him actually playing in the mid. He was like one of the best VFL midfielders for the last 2 or 3 years playing in the midfield, and Carlton were playing him in the forward pocket.
Yeah.
I don't know if him kicking 3 goals in the JLT had anything to do with it, but
he played higher last week. He wasn't pure mid, but he definitely played more of a role that suited him better.
I think 4 or 5 clearances, and he just looked so much more comfortable in the role that he was playing instead of just like a forward pressure role, because that's not his gig. Like he needs to get touches, and he was keeping up with Cripps at stages, and keeping up with the other Carlton midfielders that were scoring over 100. SPS was going off the tit last week. He's just getting touches everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, speaking of getting touches everywhere, mate, we've got netball in about 35 minutes.
Really keen.
So I think I'm expecting a few sausages from you there.
Yeah, it was my debut last week. So Tom Lynch moved from another club.
Yeah.
4 goals on debut. I think it might be 3. I don't know.
That's all right. The goal assist column was high.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was 27-9. I think the final result. So I probably had a hand in about 20 of those goals. But that's great teamwork all around. Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, good to chat, mate.
Thanks for having me.
Certainly have you back pretty soon. We'll talk about SuperCoach.
Yeah, that's right. What's that? Oh, that was just the sound of my heart breaking when you had Watto on instead of me. But that's that's fine. That's fine.
I'm sorry, mate. You were
second
replaced.
On the draft ladder, but that's cool.
You were replaced momentarily, but he was just keeping your seat warm, mate.
Yeah, that's fine.
I swear.
Yeah, cool. Sick of that.
Cool. Well, we'll just wind that one up, and I'll be in touch.
All right, thanks Daniel. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Jake.
Bye.